Hi, my name's Adrian James from Nice Names Close. You're watching liveprog.
We are all just passengers on life's time track. Before me is the future, behind me is the past. This is the present. Enjoy while it lasts. When I was preparing this review, I had this whole thing about enjoying and keep it going, you know, I can go on forever, but I thought that would be a waste of precious time. Time that I'd rather spend talking about this album by Philhelmon, Enjoy While It Lasts. For the simple reason there is so much to talk about. There's so much to tell you. The man behind this project, the album, and the music, you know, so there's a couple of things. Let's start with the man behind this project, Henk Bol, or rather Henk Philhelmon Bol, because that's his middle name. Henk has a very impressive career in music. He's not new to it. As a matter of fact, his whole career in music spans almost 6 decades. And he'd done a lot of things. He played in a lot of bands, did a lot of blues kind of things. But he was also very interested in progressive rock. And from when he was young, he learned guitars and he was interested in keyboards. So he plays a number of different instruments. Next to that, he is also a graphic designer. Well, if you look at the package, here, you open it up, I'll show you briefly, but you will see it in more detail later on. I can say, you know, he done a good job because I really enjoy the artwork and the layout and the whole packaging. You know, it's very luxurious, very nice. At a certain point, you know, he was making music and he wanted to go more into the progressive rock direction. This is not his first solo album. This is in fact his 3rd solo album already. But he did an interesting approach on this one. He started a Kickstarter campaign to get the funds to release this album as a CD. Now, of course, crowdfunding is not new. There are a couple of other bands, even well-known bands, Marillion for example, who use that way to gain the funds to release an album. Now, very interesting, and as you can see, enough people have backed that project, and well, the result is we have the album. Now, I'm very happy for that, and as I mentioned, I was really impressed when I listened to it. I listened a lot to it, and of course also on headphones. And the reason why I listen on headphones is for 2 reasons. First of all, then the family can just go about their business because, well, as you see, I don't have this big fancy studio. I just do it in my own living room. So I don't want to bother the family too much with my reviews. But it also gives me a chance to really concentrate on the music and hear more details in it. And I start noticing that often when I start listening to music on headphones, that you know, it gives another dimension, an extra dimension, more depth, more beauty. And the same happened with this album. I discovered so many beautiful aspects of this music that I was very eager to get this review out. The Kickstarter campaign, but it doesn't end there because he had to do a little more than just finance the album, but he also wanted to find musicians to support him. You know, he didn't want to, well, he wanted to do a lot by himself, but not everything. So he started looking for musicians. Now he found them, and he found a lot of them. As you can see, there's a huge list here. Some 20 musicians take part in this album. So it's a huge undertaking, and these musicians come from different countries of the world. I'm not gonna, go through the whole list, but when I looked at the list, there were a few names that, stood out for me. First of all, very high up on the list, Mr. Clem Determeijer. He played with Finch. You know Finch maybe from Peter Vink, but also Vera Lynn. Hey, again with Peter Vink, but also on Arjen. Hey, Arjen Lucassen also played with Peter Vink, so there's a link there. Clem Determeijer plays on this album. Beautiful parts, piano and organ. Very important. Another name that stood out was Joop Wolters, who does lead guitar on one track. Joop Wolters is a Dutch guitar virtuoso. Apart from that, we have a very international cast. One other name stands out, and one other name that is very important for this album. Kai Pfeiffer. He is the lead vocalist in this album, and basically he and Henk Bol form the core of Enjoy While It Lasts, because they are basically on every track, save for one, which has a little bit of a difficult name, Ulumka'an, Birds of Heaven. That's an instrumental track. Apart from that, this is just, a vocal album. Very vocal, because, Kai Pfeiffer is a pretty impressive singer. I gotta be honest, it took me a while to get used to his voice, the sound of his voice, and I really find that he has a unique voice. And on this album, he sings in various ways, showing that he's a very powerful singer, a very versatile singer. Not just one style, but he can do a lot with his voice. I'm really impressed with the way he sings on this album. Okay, now we have had a little bit about the man who does it. We have a little bit of the album. What about the music? I'm gonna start with saying how Mr. Henk Bol, Mr. Philhelmon himself calls it progressive pop. I heard that title used before, for example, a band like Kayak, also sometimes called progressive pop or symphonic pop. I think that it implies here as well, because there are a lot of progressive elements in the music, but it's also very accessible music. It's very nice melodies, very sometimes catchy melodies, but at the same time, all the different musicians that play on the album, of course, all bring, their own baggage with them, their own particular style of playing, which makes it very nice.
When life ends, they have to let go, even if they say no.
But it also had a couple of nice touches to it. I mean, guitar-wise, this is a really fantastic album. There are so many tasty guitar solos on it. Wow, I love it, absolutely. In addition, a lot of beautiful keyboards, synthesizers. Again, very tasty. I love that stuff. One part in particular attracted me, stood out for me. You Never Look Over Your Shoulder. Beautiful part played by Henk Bol himself. And that we're on the subject of keyboard synthesizers. Something else that he added to this album, which I really think is awesome, and you don't find that in a lot of prog albums. I mean, if you go to electronic music, you find them all over the place, but on an album like this, you don't find them very much. He also used this huge modular synthesizer system, where a certain Mr. John Havermans created this beautiful sequence. You find that in the song How Wrong. I absolutely enjoy that. The rhythm section is another thing that is, to be enjoyed. We're keeping in line with the title. Stunning. Two drummers take part in the album. What I did notice was there is no bass player, so, I'm guessing Mr. Henk Bol took care of the bass parts himself, but I'm not sure of that. Nevertheless, the rhythm section again sounds incredible. When I was, thinking about the title Enjoy While It Lasts, it sounded a little bit fatalistic. Maybe it's of course because Henk Bol, he isn't at the beginning of his career anymore. No, he's well advanced in his career, and maybe he's wondering, how long am I going to be a musician? How long can I enjoy it? I hope a long time. But also when it comes to the music, fortunately, we have it on CD. CDs last quite a while, so we don't have to worry about that yet, and we can also have it digital, and that lasts hopefully even longer. And that is a good thing, because this is an album that needs to be enjoyed, because it has a lot of beautiful music. 12 tracks, around 70 minutes, a little under 70 minutes of absolutely high quality music. Amazing compositions, very strong, beautiful vocals, and I'm not talking about Kai Pfeiffer alone, the lead vocals, but also a lot of nice backing vocals, a lot of guest musicians, very international, yet bringing here a very coherent album. I mean, we have the wonders of the internet, so you don't have to be in the same studio anymore to create the music. And you know, sometimes people say, you know, you hear it that they're not in the studio. You don't hear it with this one. It has a very natural flow. It has a really amazing groove, absolutely stunning. So I have nothing but praise about this album. I really hope that this will be continued, that this will be repeated, that there will be a follow-up. I don't know how you want to call it, as long as it's going to be another one in the same vein, because wow, I love it. But even if that doesn't happen, we still have this album to enjoy, and I really think you should enjoy it. I hope I haven't been talking too long. If I have, I'm very sorry, but I'm very excited about this album. I really enjoy it, and all I can say is, you know, this album is highly recommended. Absolutely, make sure you at least listen to it, but do yourself a favor, just buy a copy. Support this kind of amazing music. Buy it, please do. And when you bought it, do as I did, listen to it with headphones, because you will absolutely love it. Philhelmon, enjoy while it lasts. Let's hope very